President Bola Tinubu of Nigeria has discussed West African security issues with visiting U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who is on a four-country African tour. Mr. Blinken said Washington was determined to remain a strong security partner for Nigeria as the two allies fight Islamist militants in the region. Nigeria has also witnessed growing violence in the north and the capital Abuja, where armed gangs have targeted communities and kidnapped residents for ransom. Countries within the Sahel region have witnessed escalating instability following military coups in 4 of the 15-member regional bloc, ECOWAS. During his tour, which does not include any of the countries that have recently undergone coups, Mr. Blinken also discussed challenges to democracy in the region. Meanwhile, the federal government on Tuesday asked for the support of the United States on its membership in the G20 and the seats on the United Nations Security Council. President Bola Tinubu made the request on Tuesday at a bilateral meeting with the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken at the presidential villa, Abuja. Addressing a joint press briefing after the bilateral discussions, Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, said the discussions bordered on agriculture, food security, pharmaceuticals security, and artificial intelligence. Tuga argued that Nigeria, being Africa's largest economy, deserves to represent the African voice on the UN Security Council, as 60% of resolutions passed by the UN Security Council are Africa-related, adding that it was also important to note that President Tinubu brought up the issue of Nigeria's membership and participation in the G20. Tuga also disclosed that the bilateral talks included definite decisions on other issues, including the upcoming Nigeria-US Binational Commission holding between March 11 to 13, 2024. Now, Justice Inyang Eko of the Federal High Court in Abuja has granted bail to the immediate past governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano. He ordered that the former governor should be restricted to the court jurisdiction. The judge also ordered the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to deposit the defendant's travel documents with the court registrar. Eko then ordered the registrar to notify the Nigerian Immigration Service of the development. The prosecution counsel, Silvanus Tahir, had prayed the courts to remand the former governor. Justice Eko subsequently adjourned the case till March 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th for continuation of trial. In a related development, the 8th witness called by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Haman Adama Bello, at the Federal High Court on Tuesday, said former head of service Mrs. Winifred Oyoita and others awarded contracts to companies they incorporated or had stakes in. Oyoita and others are standing trial on the allegations of fraud regarding duty tour allowance, extra quotes, conference fees, and receiving kickbacks on contracts to the tune of 3 billion naira. Oyoita was in March 2020 arraigned by the EFCC alongside her special assistant Ubong Efiok, Frontline Ace Global Services Limited, Asanaya Project Limited, Garba Umar and his companies, Slopes International Limited, and Good Deal Investments Limited. They all pleaded not guilty to the allegations leveled against them. At the resumed proceedings on Tuesday, Bello, who is the chief superintendent of EFCC and the head of special investigation team, said his team invited Oyoita and her special assistant Ifiok, having discovered that the first defendant was the beneficial owner of 2 companies, Frontline Ace Global Services Limited and Asanaya Projects Limited. The presiding judge, Justice James Omotosho, adjourned the matter to January 26 for the continuation of trial. Talking elections now, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, on Tuesday said conducting isolated elections in Nigeria can be challenging. This was as he urged security agencies to provide a secure environment for the conduct of the rerun by-elections scheduled for February 3rd. Also, the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, said election-related violence intimidation, and other security threats must be managed to uphold the credibility of the electoral process. The by-elections became necessary after some members of the National and State Houses of Assembly died, with about 74 candidates expected to take part in the exercise. Yakubu, speaking at a meeting of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security on Tuesday in Abuja, said without a secure and peaceful environment, the conduct of credible elections will be imperiled. The National Security Advisor, who was represented by his staff, Hassan Abdullahi, said his office and security agencies under the platform of ICCES will sustain collaboration with INEC to ensure that elections are conducted in a secure and peaceful environment. Let's take you to Ondo State now, where the governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa, has dissolved the State Executive Council. The governor also relieved all senior special assistants and special assistants of their duties. In a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Ebenezer Adenio, on Wednesday, the governor said the development would take immediate effect. The statement said all members of the cabinet are to immediately hand over to the permanent secretaries or the most senior administrative officers in their respective offices. Ayedatiwa was on December 27, 2023, sworn in as the substantive governor of the state following the death of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, who had passed away while undergoing treatment for prostate cancer in a German hospital. And we're from Ondo State to Ibadan now, where exactly 8 days after the Bodija blast suspected to have been caused by activities of illegal miners, the Council of Obas in Oyo State were seen at the office of the governor of the state, Seyi Makinde. The Council of Obas made their support known during a condolence visit to the governor, Seyi Makinde, reiterated their total support for the state government towards protecting the mining sector in the state. In a press conference held at the new Press Conference Center, Secretariat, Agodi, Ibadan, the Olugbon of Orilegbon, Oba Francis Alao, on behalf of other Obas, commended the proactiveness of Governor Seyi Makinde, which he said greatly addressed security lapses, medicals, among other related to the incident.
The incident that happened in Oyo State, especially in Ibadan Bodija, in the last few days, and we all deem it fit, after due consultations with our governor, to visit the governor and commiserate with him, sympathize with him, sympathize with the people of Oyo State over the occurrence which shattered lives of people and property. We thank God our governor has been very, very proactive, which we are proud of. I swung into actions and were able to identify some 3 tracks. One, the issue of some security lapses. 2, medically. And 3, humanitarian. All these 3 tracks, the governor has put adequate action in place to address these 3 points. And also, he has briefed us how he has been working in collaboration with the federal government, to be precise, the president of the country, of Nigeria. And also, the federal government also have sent relevant agencies to liaise with the state government in order to control the damage and also try and, in as much as possible, do the best to cushion the effect of this explosive occurrence.